There's in class, you
She's
know.
three.
Don't even jam me.
I'm keeping my jacket on. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Village of Gold Rivers open council meeting or regular council meeting. I'd just like to start our meeting off with our land acknowledgement, just acknowledging that this council meeting is taking place on traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Mawasha First Nations. So call the meeting to order. Introduction of late items. Mr. Roy, do you have any late items, sir?
Just what you forwarded earlier today, your worship.
Okay, thank you very much. What we're referring to is a letter, which is a group letter that was put together by Anna Kindy, MLA for North Island. And it's being sent to the Honorable Joanne Thompson, Minister of Fisheries, Oceans, and the Canadian Coast Guard. And in relationship to the salmon allocation policy. And basically what I do is like to include this under new business and just have council endorse the request. She wants us to sign on as a co-signer. And I would like to do that, but I'd like that to come through resolution from council so it has that authority. So I just introduced this into the agenda under new business. Everybody should have a copy on their desk. Yeah. Council members. Any late items you'd like to introduce to the agenda? Councilor Pringle.
To the chair, I'm just wondering if we could have a motion to meet in camera.
We can.
We do have an in-camera tonight.
We already have an in-camera session set up. So that's already taken care of. Anything else? No, we're good. Okay, approval agenda, that the agenda be adopted as revised, as amended. Moved by Councilor Weimer, second by Councilor Pickard. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Adoption of the minutes, that the regular meeting minutes of March 2nd, 2026 be adopted as presented. You can move it. Councilor Pickard, moved by, second by Councilor Lawson. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Secondly, that the special meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2026 be adopted as presented. Moved by Councilor Lawson, second by Councilor Pickard. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Done. Public and statutory hearings, seeing none, moving on. Unfinished business, seeing none, moving on. Delegations. See, I told you it wouldn't take us very long to get you. It's my pleasure this evening to welcome Leah Corbeil, who is a tourism manager, new tourism manager, I understand, from the Mawasha First Nations, and she's going to be doing a presentation on the tourism initiatives that Mawasha First Nations are undertaking. Thank you for coming out this evening.
Really excited to share some of that.
Is your mic actually working? I'm not quite sure. Is it turned on? There.
Let's try that again. So thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, share what we've been working on as far as tourism objectives for the region and the area. Before I dive into all of the great, exciting things that we're looking to launch this year, I wanted to give a little insight into kind of the background of how we chose this path and how we chose these different items that we're bringing to the visitor economy here. So I'll get you to change to the next slide there for me. So first, we kind of need to identify what is our special sauce? What makes this region so amazing? And I've talked to a lot of different people and everybody has brought some really amazing ideas together as to what makes it so special. The short answer is there's a million things that make this place incredibly special. But we need to identify that one thing that is really, really extra special. Because tourism is a very competitive market, and there's some incredible places on this island. So what sets us apart? Once we find that, then we look towards figuring out who is our target audience. And then we create with intention experiences that have them in mind for this. And then we have to share that information with the world, because it's all well and good to say that we've got these things, but if no one knows about it, then they can't come and enjoy it. So starting I'll get you to switch to the next slide there for me. Looking at, what is it that we have? It's really easy to know that we have some pristine wilderness. We've got adventure in every corner. There's a quietness that is something that is really special and rare. The wildlife, caves, waterfall, fishing, the history, there's so many things I could go on. It's also just as important to understand what we don't have. Next slide, please. So we don't have crowds. I think that's a positive thing that we don't have. We don't have public transportation. We don't have nightlife. We also don't have visitor-ready experiences. And that's one thing that I'm looking to build. So just a little quick backstory. I came to visit Gold River in the summer. I wanted to come in with fresh eyes and a fresh experience, not really knowing much of what to expect when I got here, and see how easy was it to navigate as a visitor in this region. And what I discovered was that it really wasn't. Everywhere I went to go, there was a sign that said tours, and they said, oh yeah, maybe we'll do that next week, but you got to call ahead and book, and you have to do it in advance. Or they said, yeah, we think we do that, but we haven't actually operated one this year. And everywhere I went, it was the same thing. So that is one of those things that we really need to work on. And that's where one of the main focuses that I'm bringing into the picture this year. So I'll get you to switch to the next slide there for me, please. This is a couple different, very well-established tourism economies: Tofino, Squamish, Canmore. All three of these locations have really become tourist destinations within the last 10 to 15 years. How did they do that? How did they grow so exponentially within that amount of time? Next slide. They picked one thing. Every single one of these locations picked one thing that they had that was spectacular, and they used that as their pivotal point to move their location forward. Tofino is synonymous with surfing. That one is something we all know. Squamish, this one was brilliant because not only is it a physiological actual place, a landmark, something that is iconic and beautiful, but it also has that element of adventure because you can climb it too. Canmore started off being, the neighbor to Banff, the lesser known. It's where people lived outside of the park, but they established themselves for their outdoor recreation. Primarily, it was the cross-country club, and then grew from there with all of the other things about. So I'll just switch to the next. What is ours? When I've asked around, and I asked Google, and I asked AI, two things came up consistently. The sound, the Nootka Sound is at the top of all of it. The fjord that is there, the history that is there, the fishing that people already come for, the wildlife, the hiking, the caves. That is something that is truly unique and special, that is a gateway from here. The other thing is the caves unto their own. We have the highest density of caves in this area alone, and that is something that is very unique. It is an untapped resource that is something that people will travel for. So these are just a couple ideas of some things that we can really demonstrate that will attract some attention from a visitor standpoint. Okay, so now we have all this information. We know what we have, we know what we don't have. How do we then use that to market this locale as somewhere that tourists are going to come? So the first place that I go is, it's a marketing website called Destination Canada. And essentially what they are is an information collective. They gather data and analytics from not just the nation, but also internationally on what different visitors are looking for. And they create what's known as segmentations. So with these segmentations, we can use the information that they gather to identify who we're going after, what drives them. And if we know all of those things, then we have the ability to create experiences that will attract them into our region. So one thing that people commonly ask me is about demographics. This is a psychographic, not a demographic. So within this, there are many different ages that pertain to it. I'll get you to switch to the next one. So this is just a little bit about Destination Canada, and I'll get you to go one more for me. So this traveler segmentation is more like a personality trait, if you will. It shows us what motivates people, why they make the choices, what things they're looking for, from everything from what kind of place they want to stay in when they're traveling, how far in advance do they book their travel typically? Are they doing short haul? Are they doing long haul? How long are they going for? So it really gives us some really great information within the psyche of these travelers. So we are targeting a group known as the Outdoor Explorers. They make up 3.4 million or 3.4 million of Canadians, and specifically Canadians that are looking to travel within the next 2 years. So if you don't have any travel destinations in mind, or you're not really motivated to travel, you don't count in these numbers. So they just kind of put them on a shelf. We can have the breakdown of their age. You can see through that. What kind of destinations they're looking for. So are they adventurous? They're looking for athletic things. They're free-spirited, so on and so forth. I'll get you to go to the next slide for me. The thing that is really great about these guys and why they are primary segmentation is because these are the people, they are intrepid travelers. They're not afraid to go to the end of the road. They are like going off the beaten path. They are willing to travel to places that are lesser known and that do not have established tourism infrastructure in place. They want to have that experience where they can really share that they did something that likely others haven't. They are looking for opportunity to engage with Indigenous peoples and the original inhabitants of the land, and they have strong desire to do a lot of the things that we have to offer in this region. One of the other things that is so incredibly great about this is that there are other big marketing entities out there like Supranational BC, I'm sure you've heard of, that are also targeting the outdoor explorers as their primary segmentation. So we get to ride their coattails a little bit on their marketing efforts to help bring them into our region more specifically. So I'll switch to the next one. So now that we know who we're going after, we know why we have that special something, how do we use this information? So next slide. We are going to create those visitor-ready experiences. So the picture that's up right now, we have actually purchased one of these canoes, and we will decal it out in authentic art from the nation. This is not a traditional canoe to this region, but it is in a traditional style that would be similar to what would have been used. This is a fiberglass canoe, so it's a little bit easier to use. And the idea is that we'll be able to take the one that we've purchased will hold up to 8 guests at a time. And we can go with as little as 4 guests in a canoe like this with one of the many different waterways that we have at our disposal here. And we can create an authentic Indigenous experience where we get to highlight the history and the story of the peoples of this land. That is one of the experiences that we're looking to build. We are building a guiding program with a mentorship program to help bring people from the nation into the world of guiding where they get to share their story. Walking tours and some day tours will be part of the offering for this year, as well as the visitor center that we're building, which is the Welcome House. So this will be a cultural center where people can come, gather, share, learn, exchange, and be. The idea is that we'll have workshops that we can bring together people of all kinds of different backgrounds and ages. So potentially something like cedar weaving, some beading, storytelling, all kinds of different ideas around sharing information and social exchange in this space. And there will be a small retail component to it. And there will also be an area with TVs where people can share different movies and stories. And there's all kinds of different opportunities yet to be discussed that will be there. But also, most importantly, people will be able to book their experiences through this place. So that is a connecting spot too. So all of these tours will start and finish there and really just trying to bring community together in one spot.
Great.
All right, so now that we have our special sauce, we have our visitor-ready experiences, the next most important thing is, next slide, our marketing. But this is a great example of some of that coattails that I was talking about. So I'm going to share a video that is not out for general public just yet. Some of you may have seen it on our little slip. We did have a sneak preview of this that went out about a month or so ago. But this is a video that has been done by Supernatural BC, part of their marketing campaign that highlights our region, and just an excellent display of visual storytelling that highlights our area. So I'll get you to press that little button.
Just grab it, go, because you just never know what you'll see. We didn't know exactly where to go. Take a picture. Nobody would believe it. The power of the ocean. You know, it was a welcoming feeling.
Euclid is one of the very first places put on the map. It's just nice to see more people coming out to visit Euclid.
Just when you think that you've come to the end, you realize that this is just the beginning. It's just beautiful. It almost felt like a dream. You just stand there and close your eyes. You can smell the forest. You can smell the ocean.
So the Infinite Coast is one of the sections that Supernatural BC has broken our province up into. And essentially what they're doing is they're marketing the entire province of BC in different segmentations that will appeal to different travelers for different reasons. And also, you know, creating that desire to not just see one part of BC, but showcasing that every different part of BC has something truly unique and special that's worth visiting, and creating some really powerful storytelling behind it. So that is yet to be launched. So you just got a very secret sneak peek there, but it's just such an incredible thing that I thought I'd share. So I'll get you to switch to the next slide. Oh, thank you. I knew it was running too smooth. It couldn't go out with some sort of technical glitch. There you go. Nice job. Thank you. All right. So people often are asking me, like, what kind of things can they do? How can they get involved in this? And I think that is such a great energy. Something that really excites me is that people really do want to be involved and want to know how they can be part of the tourism ecosystem. And there's so many ways. This is just a couple ideas that are on there, but wellness is an $80 billion tourism initiative within Canada right now. So if you are someone that is a massage therapist, or you can teach some yoga classes, maybe you're really into sound baths or meditation, or you are an esthetician, or you've got some of these different skill sets, those are things that people are looking for, and they're not easily attainable if you don't know. So if you have any of these skill sets, please let us know. We can help market those services to guests that are looking for some of these things. You know, other things like preserves and canning and woodworkers and photography and art. These are also things that people like to spend their money when they're traveling. They like that keepsake that they can take with them that will remind them of an experience that they had. So if there's ways to share some of those things, that definitely goes for a long way. And then lastly, one more slide there. You know, thinking about, can we have farmers markets? How can we create Gold River Days to attract a bigger audience? Is there some sort of music that we can share throughout the summer so that when people are here and, you know, they've gone out and they've done their fishing for the day, what are they doing with their evening? Really looking at that time. And then the last thing I have on there is talking or thinking about what does the off-peak season look like? So summer is an incredible window. We can fit a lot in that time, but then there's the entire rest of the year. One thing that Eucalypt did really, really well was that they took what was, maybe the not so nice part of their seasons, and they turned that into their gold mine, storm watching. There is something to that. There's something to that same concept. So thinking outside the box and taking something that some may think is a negative and turning that into an opportunity is exactly how we can draw some attraction in those rainy seasons and whatnot. The herring spawn is a great example of something that we can absolutely tap into. So throwing these ideas out there to see if anybody has anything that they want to come up with that we can all tap into. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much. It does take a community, so I hope that we can collaborate on all of these things going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out and providing us that wonderful presentation. I feel pretty special having a sneak preview of one of your products. Counselors, do you have any questions that you'd like to direct towards Leah? Are you willing to take some questions from council?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
When is the Welcoming House opening?
That is the $1 million question. So I have been hoping for the end of March.
Right.
I know I was really pleasantly surprised that it is all sided today.
Yes,
So
looked
that
really nice.
is a great step in the right direction. But realistically, I'm going to say most likely probably middle to end of April, with the caveat of ish on the end.
And the employee housing, it looks like it's nearly ready to go itself. Have they got you in there yet?
Not yet. I'm going to say the same timeline. But I think it's all done. To my understanding, we're just waiting for a few check marks and boxes and sign offs, and I believe it is ready to roll. So very soon.
Would you be able to speak a little bit to the project that that the Mountain Mission First Nations are working on out at Yuquat to provide a multi-energy facility out there so that you could be self-sufficient with power?
Yeah, I
Do you have
can't
a-
speak too knowledgeably around the project as a whole. What I can speak to is my involvement in the preliminary phases leading into that. So
Sure.
Yuquat is a big focal point for our tourism endeavors as well. I didn't mention too much around that, but right now we are kind of looking at a step into the wave turbine project, which has been undergoing for a little while. I believe it will commence some start this year, but I don't have details around what that looks like. What I can say is that we are working on redoing all of the cabins that are out there. So 2 have been completely restructured, if you will. So the safety is all there. Your foot isn't going to go through any floors anymore. The windows have all been replaced. There's solar panels that have been put in there for really basic things like you can plug in your laptop or your cell phones and such. There has been composting toilets added to each of them. The decks have been redone. We're going to put some soft comforts in there, some soft seating and some of those little things. It will still be a very rustic experience for guests, but nonetheless, just a little bit higher of the luxurious rustic experience, if you will. So 2 of those are done now. 2 more will be done by the spring. And 2 of them are in very bad disrepair where we have to make some decisions as to whether to start from scratch or make the investment to repair. There are hopes that we might be adding some trappers tents to supplement those 2 that are off the season or offline for the season. And also looking to do some cleanup and some tours, guided tours to help visitors connect to that place in a more meaningful way this year. So
I would think if you create self-sufficient energy source out there through diesel and solar, it's going to unleash the potential of that site, and it could just be unbelievable, the different tourism opportunities and visitor experiences that could be available out there.
Yeah, it's truly a magical place,
Mhm.
super special and
Yeah, I love
you
going out
feel
there.
it when you go, for sure.
Counselors, any other questions or? I feel like I'm monopolying the conversation. Counselor Rickard.
Thanks for the chair and thanks for coming in, Leah. Nice to meet you. Congrats on your position and
you.
thanks for your presentation. All the info is great and the sneak peek video is breathtaking. And yeah, it's been really, I think really positive for us in the last few years. We're on our final year now of council for this term. And just to see the start of Explore Nooka and have the different presentations over time and see how much has grown, how much marketing's been done, how much investment, how much just amazing attention to the area and really highlighting Nooka Sound, Explore Nooka and all of our communities. And kind of through our time in council too, we've seen a lot more just integration and symmetry with the Village of Gold River and MFN and now being more integrated than ever with the hotel in town and the Welcome House coming up and the housing being built. I feel really excited listening to your presentation and just knowing the potential for the area and
Yeah.
all the ways that we can all work together. And, you know, even seeing that you have the Gold River Days highlighted as a tourist event and activity, I think there's lots of potential for us to use synergies and integrate the communities together and really, make Gold River and Nooka Sound really sought after tourist destination. So thanks for that. And one question, I guess I can follow up with you after, but just wondering if you knew about, there's a First Nations Health Authority Indigenous Peoples Day of Wellness grant for their Indigenous Wellness Day, June 21st, that eligible First Nation communities or societies can apply to and host different things like you were speaking about, wellness events or basket weaving or making preserves or different workshops like that to highlight some Indigenous culture and promote Indigenous wellness. So I think could be kind of a good segue for you guys. And that's all. Yeah, I look forward to just watching everything finalized and watching the guide program come in line. I think that's really great. And there's lots of really synergistic relationships happening in the conservation economy in the area too.
Yeah.
They've really partnered really well with the village and conservation groups and MFN and Salmon Park. So I think that, you know, is a big highlight for tourists too, and bringing a lot of unknown or like unseen economic revenue to the area.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's really exciting. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Counselor Wimmer.
Thank you. You spoke of visitor-ready experiences. So what's kind of planned for the 2026 season and what's kind of, you know, the stretch point for future years?
Fabulous question. So for visitor experiences this year, I have 3 goals. One is to start the guiding program, which is a 2-part. So guiding program in synergy with a mentorship program. So not just about what are we creating, but how are we also uplifting the community to then move into that and take it over and take ownership in that space. Within that, there's the canoes that I was mentioning, walking cultural history tours. So they're still in development, so I don't have full descriptions for you, but yet to come, stay tuned. That will, just to give you an idea, that would look like maybe we're going on a short walk through the forest and looking at the forest through the lens of what does the ecology look like? What does the history look like? What does the culture look like? What are the plants? What are they used for? What are their names? What trees can we identify that have that cultural significance to them and the bigger picture of it all? So not really about the physical exertion necessarily, more about the immersion. Looking at doing tours in collaboration with some of our partners. So for example, Mucha Bay has expressed interest in collaborating with us so that their guests have something other than fishing to do. Imagine that, they don't want to fish all the time. Or maybe not everybody that's with them is wanting to do that. So can we take them on guided excursions through the caves, Upana Caves, show off some of the incredible waterfalls that we have in this region, take them into Tassus and take them down the first kilometer of the Grease Trail. show off the new museum that they're building there. And of course, you have to stop in at the cafe and have a treat by the water. So all kinds of amazing things that we can do, both, that could be a full day from here and a half day from Mucha Bay. But those are the types of experiences that we're looking to build and the partnerships that we're leveraging within the region. And then, of course, day tours to Uquat, where, right now we have limited marine access on our own, but again, working with UChuck and seeing how we can work together to create a fuller experience when guests are on that island, exploring that island, and making sure that they're also respecting the island the way it deserves to be as well. So those are the goals. We've got a lot of lofty goals. We're feeling very ambitious. So that's why I don't want to get too descriptive yet, but I promise that we'll share more as we keep going.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilor Romero. One of the things that we do to build relationships and collaborate and look for synergies is we have our tri-communities meeting. It's between the Village of Gold River and the Village of Tassus and the Machu First Nations. I believe that's coming up in the first week in April. And yeah, so if there's anything that you can see in your world and your vision in terms of how we might, Village of Gold River might be able to collaborate with Machu First Nation, and maybe something that we could jointly do together to promote visitor experiences and tourism in the area, we'd love to discuss that with you.
Yeah, I have some ideas already.
I bet you do.
Absolutely. I'd
Yeah.
love to.
Terrific. Any other questions, counselors, before we say goodnight to our presenter?
Okay,
No, thank you very much, Leah, for coming in. We appreciate that. Have a good evening.
thank you very much.
Administrative reports, seeing none, moving on, reports from council. You want to start us off, Councilor Fossin?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to mention, it's really not pertaining to council, but it sort of is. I had reached out to Main Road in the last 2 weeks, describing how the state of the Tassus Highway has been. And am looking forward to more and better, more consistent work being done on that. So that's one positive for Gold River and Tassus. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. Thanks, Councillor Fossin, for looking into that. And mine, I included in the agenda, just happened to tie in well with Leah tonight, unplanned, but perfect timing. That was just released. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, the Look West Tourism Sector Action Plan, which had some really exciting, just kind of mandates and plans from the province. So it was really great to see. We've seen so many cuts and disappointing budgets and seniors housing cuts and autistic kids funding cuts, but to see the effort that the ministers have put into this plan and kind of some of the facts and some of the numbers and some of the support for tourism seems really exciting for us. The Minister of Tourism, Arts, Culture and Sport, Anne Kang, has some really good quotes in there, and also the Minister of Jobs, Economic Growth. Just kind of stating now more than ever, people are choosing to spend their tourism dollars in Canada, and it's vital we have the right plan in place to make sure people and businesses in BC benefit. So kind of piggybacking onto what Leah said, that we're in a great position to make regulation and support business to come and do the things that we can as municipal council now with the support of the province to really set up our tourism industry, make sure the infrastructure is there to monetize on tourists coming, and plan it well so it's sustainable tourism, so our area has the respect it wants, but we also have chances to really grow our tourism products and economy here. And we've seen even in the last few years too, lots of changes happening in Gold River as a whole with our resource extraction industries kind of facing regulatory challenges, permitting challenges, federal government bans and plan challenges. So our strategic plan last year that we had done by Reineck really focused on tourism and just saying Gold River really has leverage underutilized natural tourism opportunities that we could focus on. So feels really, yeah, exciting to be in line with MMFN and Salmon Parks and yeah, just work together to make Gold River and Nooka Sound have the greatest potential possible. There's lots of good facts in here too, and just big picture things like some instability in the world stage and visitors not really wanting to go to the US. We have a really amazing opportunity to let tourism be a big economic driver and grow here. And the timing also seems to fit in really well with all the advocacy we're doing. And Mayor Lott, this letter from MLA Kindy on the salmon allocation policy that's really fighting for the wreck fishery as a cornerstone of our North Island community and a massive economic driver to Gold River and up to Nooka Sound. And also congrats to all the groups that are involved in the Tree to Sea Adventure Guide Map and the Scout and Antler Lake Guide and Trail Map that are being done, and we just saw were uploaded to the Gold River website today. So seems like a lot of things are coming into line. This plan has some really good facts here, and just kind of they're predicting tourism to grow to double in BC in the next 10 years. So by 2036, the province is expecting that growth to double, and so tons of new investment and hopefully new jobs. And yeah, hopefully we can really plan it well and work together and find lots of synergy and ways to leverage all the good things, hundreds of things we have around Gold River and Nooka Sound, and be competitive and yeah, really support the village and jobs. So I think that's all. And it's funny too, I had a note in here too. We have the opportunity at different municipal government, at AVIC, municipal government meetings, to talk to other local councillors and mayors. And we've had a chance to talk a lot to Cumberland and to Fino, and them just say once the growth starts, it's kind of, you can't really stop it. We have a different challenge here with land and kind of different than those places, but to be really ready and to make a plan and to look at what might be coming and do it well. I think we have a really great opportunity knowing what's coming with tourism growth and just conservation economy and people really seeking nature and wilderness-based tourist experiences. So I look forward to working together with all you guys and MMFN, and that's all. Thank you. And no updates on these. No. As per Mayor Lott's letter here, the salmon allocation policy review is supposed to be done by the Federal Fisheries Minister, Joanne Thompson, by the end of March. So we're holding our breath and fingers crossed that we wreck fishers kind of have an equal kind of seat at the table, a seat in the boat, and get a chance to fish out this summer. And actually the Area 25 meetings start next month. So last year the mushlet fishery was closed due to low predicted returns, but those meetings start again in April. So we'll kind of look at what expected returns are and hope that our fishing's open outside the summer for all the residents and the Rod and Gun Club Derby and all the kids and all the fun that we have out there. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Pickard. Councilor Pringle.
I don't at this time, but I came up with a question for Leah and I'd like to ask her after the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Weimer. Thank you. I'm glad you stayed, Leah, because you'll probably be able to relate to this. One of the roles of the mayor is to attend meetings of the North Island Sunshine Coast Regional Advisory Committee of Island Coastal Economic Trust. You're probably familiar with that. And I had the pleasure during the last meeting to be able to speak and vote in favor of the Malachimushlet First Nation grant request for the 200,000 to help fund the construction of a renewable microgrid at Uquat, Nooka Island. The value of the project in phase one in the first year is 2.43 million, and a phase two is 4.6 million. Significant investment in that area. And I to the person that was down there around the table, who, they voted unanimously to support that grant application, so it did go forward. They all believe that that would release the unbelievable potential for that site. Seems like it's such a magnificent, special place in the world. And and I think if you had self-sustaining electricity out there, you would be able to develop in so many ways. For those folks who aren't aware of what's going on out there, I'll take just a moment to read the project background from your submission. The project background is that the Mount First Nations is proposing the implementation of renewable diesel hybrid microgrid at Uquat Friendly Cove on Nook Island, a nationally significant cultural and tourism site and the ancestral home of the Mount First Nation people. The project is designed to replace the current reliance on multiple small portable diesel generators with a centralized, safe, and expandable power system. Phase 1 of the project establishes the core electrical backbone for the site and electrical distribution to existing tourism and cultural facilities, cabins, campsites, church, I assume the lighthouse. The phase is intended to establish reliable electricity service, reduce operating costs, and prepare for site for phase 2 integration of large-scale solar generation and additional renewable energy systems planned for 2027. And the timeline is like you're starting in March 2026 and hoping everything goes well to have that project completed by, October 2027. And like I said, the project budget, the grant's only 200,000, but the project budget is 4.6 million. So, and a lot of it I see is funded by grant opportunities as well as contributions from the Mount First Nations. So that's a significant investment in tourism infrastructure and the potential, the unlimited potential. So it was my pleasure to be able, like I said, to be able to speak on behalf of it with my colleague my mayor from Metaxas. And we managed to convince all the other mayors that were there. And like I said, they voted unanimously in support of that. So that our recommendation goes forward to the boards to approve. And that's a $200,000 grant. So it's very similar to, I guess, what happened when we were involved in helping out with the welcoming house, and their grant went before the Island Coastal Economic Trust for 300. It was 300,000 at that time, and we spoke in favor also. So and helped, So we try and support and help out wherever we can, because our stock and trade a lot of time is influence. So that's the most important thing that I wanted to talk about. And this report goes on and on and on. It's a pretty extensive report. Yeah. But anyways, on to information items. Work in progress, that council received the work in progress for information. Who care to move it? Councilor Raymar, second by Councilor Pickard. Any discussion? Saying no. Thought I was through. Councilor Weaver.
Yeah, through the chair to the administration, there's quite a few updates. I was hoping you could speak a little more to those updates.
Who did you want to direct it to? Director of Operations Doxy or CAO Roy?
I suppose the first two to CAO Roy and number 3, the stop sign to Doxy.
Director of Operations Doxy? Sure. CAO Roy?
The one on the tax stuff, I'm waiting to hear back from the Ministry of Finance. One person I reached out to has forwarded the information onto another. I'm still waiting for to hear back. The other is with regards to the revisation tax exemption, and I'm received some information from a potential consultant for that, and they'll be coming forward at a future meeting for council direction.
Satisfactory?
If I may again, through your worship, in terms of the stop sign update, so we've communicated with ICBC done a review of the motor vehicle regulations and corresponded with the Moses and now I'm gonna like sacrifice the other fellow's last name, but AZ something. Azar. And they're going through their own kind of historic or language people. I wanted to confirm with them just exactly if there was one spelling, one dialect, or to make sure we have it covered. And then I will have to get in touch with the RCMP as well. So in terms of the motor vehicle regulations, and the provincially, there is a requirement that it have the stop on it. Although I note that on site in Saxana, there is a stop sign with the neutral language on it or appearing to be on it, and it's by its lonesome. But I suspect that is because it's on federal lands and they may be following under federal regulations as opposed to provincial. So we're gonna just circle those bases, confirm exactly what language and the spelling and dialect needs to be on the sign, and then whether or not we need to have the two languages or not. So just kind of waiting on feedback.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Good, Councilor Raymond. Good. Any other discussion? Call for the, look what you started. Council Fawson.
Thank you through the chair. I'm glad you brought that up, Director of Operations, Doxy. It would be interesting to find out as well if French needs to be on that sign, as that is the other legal recognized language in Canada. So if you can find that out too for us, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can, sorry, answer that right away. If I may, again, through your worship, I can confirm that the French is not required in British Columbia under the motor vehicle regulations.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor, seat done. Report of committees, none. Bylaws, none. Correspondence, none. New business. The item that we introduced as a late item for new business is a letter from Anna Kindy, Dr. Anna Kindy, MLA for North Island, our MLA, which is addressed to the Honorable Joanne Thompson, Minister of Fisheries, Oceans, and the Canadian Coast Guard. And it reflects a lot of the things that we had in the letter that we had set off on January 2nd to the DFO SAP review consultation process. And I wanted to co-sign this because it reflects things that are very critical and important to the Village of Gold River. Our recreation salmon fishery is absolutely essential to our economy, probably what a lot of our economy is built on. And it would have a devastating effect if we got into a quota system rather than the system we're in right now. So I would just like to make a motion that council support the mayor co-signing on behalf of the Village of Gold River this letter that our MLA Anna Kindy is sending to the Honorable Joanne Thompson. So that's the motion. Would care to move it? Councillor Pickard, second by Councillor Waymeyer. Any discussion? Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. I just want to say again, thanks Mayor Lott for bringing this up, and thanks to MLA Kindy for just supporting and advocating for fair salmon allocation policy review. And we know this has caused a lot of, in social media and amongst political leaders and different groups, it's gotten up to be a bit polarized and caused a lot of division, but her letter's really well put out. And I think we agreed, and in our letter, we understand the allocation policy review puts conservation first, then food, social, ceremonial, treaty rights-based fisheries for First Nations, and then commercial treaty rights-based tidal First Nations fisheries. And just, it's really advocating how much the rec fishing industry is to our especially rural small town North Island towns and what a ripple effect that fishery has for, you know, all industries involved and what that means for residents or for locals, what that connection with the ocean, that connection with the food source, that connection for families and teaching them reverence for the land and the food, and how important that is. So, you know, we can't advocate enough that this is really important to just keep priority for residents and rec fishers ahead of commercial fisheries. And I think that, yeah, it means so much to us and hopefully that these letters are landing in the right place. And our area, especially Nooka Sound in general, has been really such a big, such big team players on working together for advocacy, for conservation, for stewardship. And it would really be a big loss if rec fishers lost that priority because rec fishers are so involved in conservation and stewardship and are, yeah, part of a lot of the restoration activities. So thanks for bringing this forward. And yeah, I look forward to, you know, hoping that Nooka Sound continue to work together for stewardship, conservation, and fishing together. Thank you.
Councillor Pickard, any other discussion? Call for the question, all in favor? I will sign that on behalf of Village Quarter. Question period. Gallery, is there any folks in the gallery that would like to address questions to council based on what we have on our agenda today? I think you knew the routine already, Suzanne. You probably.
I'm very involved in my community. Okay, we talked a lot about tourism earlier tonight, and my big concern when it comes to bringing people into the community is our road. And I'm just curious, the highway,
Highway 20.
all the way from Campbell River to the dock. And I'm just curious what this council has been doing in the last year to encourage highways to do something about the road.
That's a very good question. And I'm sure a lot of the residents of Gold River like to hear a response. I know that the staff has been actively engaged with the Department of Highways, and getting improvements done. Roy, would you like to respond to that?
Sure, Your Worship. After UBCM, I did have a conversation with staff at Ministry of Transportation and Transit.
Mhm.
And they did indicate that they do have some planned work to do on the segment between here and Campbell River that is going to be in the budget this year and planned work for this year and probably something in the subsequent year. Exact details that weren't able to provide, but there is some work to be done in this coming year on that highway.
Yeah, thank you. Suzanne, I noticed, like, I looked at it too, right? And I was quite, I still have reservations about that highway. When I drive along there, my head still hits on the ceiling when I'm driving along because of the depressions in the highway. So we need to see them continue to do those repairs on the highway. Seeing they've done sun patching, I was really impressed with the fact that they invested the money to rebuild the bridges over the last few years. So that was a good investment. But I'm still not satisfied with that highway, and I don't think the commercial people are satisfied with that highway, or even residents or people that travel that highway, because there's so many areas where I think they just kind of logged it and they didn't remove the stumps, and those stumps are.
Whose job do you think it is to make something happen?
Well, the responsibility for that highway is the Department of Highways. We don't.
I get that, but whose job do you think it is to advocate for something to be done to the road?
It's our responsibility to do that.
Thank you. Okay, so could I ask this council, because it doesn't sound like you actually met with the Ministry of Highways at UBCM last year, which is a real shame. We used to meet with them every year and talk about this highway.
I thought we met with the folks from.
No, transportation declined a meeting with us this past UBCM. In previous UBCMs, we did have meetings with them, which the highway was always a topic on the agenda.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yep,
Okay,
go
I'd
ahead.
just like to say, as you pointed out, we all know there are portions of the road that look like they're about to cave in, and we actually had a chunk disappear this winter. So I would really like to see this council send a strongly worded letter to the Ministry of Highways expressing how disappointed we are with the lack of work on the road. And I just would like to point out also that bridges come out of a different budget than roads, so don't let them try to tell you that they've already spent a lot of money on it. Alrighty, the only other thing I wanted to say, this is just a comment, if anybody didn't catch Mike's very quick cap of the UQuat project, there's a very good article in Heschelsa.
What was that?
Thanks.
Where was it?
The
Suzanne?
article on the power.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Okay, so as you all know, then the operator of the campground, municipal campground for 14 years.
You just get
And-
to introduce yourself and
I'm
just
sorry?
where
That's of
you
course.
live and then proceed with your presentation
Okay.
or your questions.
Thank you very much. And so my name is Ken Smith and I live in Gold River since 2005. And first thing I want to say, it's wonderful to see the manager of tourism for the Michelet band here. Because it's tourism is about the only thing we got left in Gold River that I can see right now. And
Seems like it, doesn't it, sometimes?
yeah, so congratulations for all the work you're doing. If I may, I'm sorry. And I won't bring up the main, because it hasn't come forward in regards to the site fees and that, but what a mess down at the campground, eh? As far as what has happened there. And I just hope you're dealing with it properly. It should have been on the agenda tonight, like you had suggested at the last meeting. It's not here. And I also asked for an in-camera meeting because we're talking about personal things, personalities and family members. And so how am I going to deal with that as a council? How are we going to deal with that? I'm asking the mayor if you have some suggestions.
I'm not quite sure what your question is. It's fairly vague.
Well, as I just said, a family member was hired to run the campground through the request proposal process. And nothing was done to stop that process, knowing what was going on. To make it even worse, there wasn't a proposal put forward, no submission by the person who got the contract. Right there, it's illegal. So, I mean, you're gonna have to deal with it sometime. And how we do that, I'm asking the mayor. If it through-
As I said to you last time, Mr. Smith, is that the council has streams of processing information. We have public and we have in camera. In camera is for legal and contractual, which is an area that you're in right now because you're in dispute with the Village of Gold River and you've threatened to
I'm not
litigate the
threatening
village.
anybody.
You threatened to litigate the Village of Gold River in court. And as such, we won't be dealing with these situations publicly. We've made that painfully aware to you, and yet you still continue to come. I'm telling you that we are dealing with it, but when we deal with it in camera. So I think that when I'm looking at what you're doing here tonight, it's not acceptable.
Okay. I think it's important that.
You're here if you have questions that pertain to the agenda from topics that are on the agenda this evening. It's not, you have already indicated that's not on the agenda. So your questions should be pertaining to something that's on the agenda. They're not. And what you're doing is just basically relitigating the
No.
concerns that you've presented in previous meetings here. So I see no value in carrying on right now. This is not the appropriate format for that.
Okay, what I'm talking about is tourism, okay? I'm talking about tourism.
You're not talking about.
I am
tourism.
talking
You're
about tourism.
here-
Okay,
You're here airing your grievance again.
no. I'm talking about
And there's
tourism.
avenues for you to do that.
And we're talking about the U-Chuck. We have so many people from all over the world coming to our campground to go on the U-Chuck. And if we don't have a campground that's going to work for this community, then we lost a lot of business.
We intend on having a campground that's going to work for this community.
Okay. I'm wondering about the model of the campground. Have you come up with something in regards to that? How you?
If you've been following it, we've asked staff to work on some things for us, and they haven't brought it forward. They will be bringing it forward, and when they do, that'll be done publicly.
Okay, that'd be good, because I have some suggestions there. So I'd get to bring that forward. Any questions
Nope.
from the
There, I
council?
don't believe so. Oh, sorry, Councilor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. Thank you through the chair. And thanks, Mr. Smith, for your comments. And just there, we had an in-camera after the last meeting that there was a Horizon report. It's on page 5 and 6 of this agenda from the minutes from the last meeting.
Yeah.
So on page 5 and 6, there's kind of a summary that came from the Horizon report from in-camera. If you want to take a look, that gives a little bit of an update on what's happening.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council, Mr. Smith? Nope, okay, thank you. Hello, sir.
Hello, if I may, Chris White, 507 Golden Hind. And I just want to tell you guys and gals how excited I am about the project going on out at Friendly Cove.
Me too.
That was such a great presentation, the vision and what they're doing out there. Because I can remember, of course, way back when I started here. It just, yeah, anyway, very exciting, very good presentation. It was like, yeah, 2 thumbs up.
I agree.
It was great to hear.
That sounds like a previous counselor to me. This is a previous counselor too. You might get some more compliments.
Sorry, I have a follow-up question. I reckon I'm thank Nikki for pointing it out. We can't see it on the wall here, but because it happened after the meeting and everybody had left last time, could you quickly tell us what the plans are for the campground this year?
What do you mean by what our plans are?
Okay, well, we all came to the last meeting. There was a whole bunch of people. They all
Yep.
got really angry. And you said you were going to go off and do a report.
Yep.
And we were all curious about what was going to happen. Now, none of us were here when you came back from that meeting, so all we've got is the motion
Yep.
that was up there.
That's
So I'm
okay.
just asking if you could maybe expand on that a little bit.
You know what would be valuable? There's within that motion, there was a directive, a temporary directive on what we were going to be doing for managing the campsite until we've got our full policy proposal in place and a review of our fees and charges. So what we could look at doing, Suzanne, is attaching the directive also to the minutes so that you'd be able to see all the things that are in there.
Okay, so the village's plan for this summer is to have village employees working at the campground?
That's part of it, yes.
Okay, are we going to be able to go back to a contract situation once the union's been working down there?
Possibly, because this is temporary. We have a temporary directive for staff that's going to be for 2026 until staff brings forward their proposals for the campground. And one of the campground proposals will be what the model is going forward, it will be in-house or whether it'll be contractual or whether we'll be going to service clubs.
Okay, I understand that's what you'd like to see, but how does the union see it?
How does the union see it?
Well, once you've got union employees in a situation, it's kind of hard to backtrack and take them out again.
Only for doing it, this is just a temporary position that we're putting.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be a problem. It didn't sound like you'd consulted them at all, so I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, Councilor Pickard.
Thank you. This might be going rogue, but Administrator Roy, is it possible to go to the bottom of page 5 and top of page 6 for anyone in the gallery? I don't know who brought their glasses this evening, if you can see that. But in the bottom of page 5 and the top of 6, there's a little bit of information if you guys want to follow up on it. And just wanted to say too, Mr. Smith, we understand that operating Camp County is really important for the village, for all the cafes and restaurants. And it's not just the camping fees, but it's all that they come and bring and spend and all the experiences. So, and the UCHUC and going to UQuat. So thanks for highlighting that and advocating for it.
Thank you. Any questions online, sir?
No, your worship.
That wraps up our question period. No notice of motions. Motion to adjourn in camera, that council proceed in camera pursuant to section 91G, litigation or potential litigation affecting municipality. You'd care to move it? Councillor Fossin, second by Councillor Pickard. We are now going into in-camera session. Thank you folks for coming out.